Alright, welcome back to the part 2 of the passing chord that you can use whenever you're approaching the chord 5, okay? So if you missed the part 1, I would suggest you check it out using the link above, and after doing that, you can proceed with this video, okay? So let's get straight to business. So the next type of passing chord that you can use to your chord 5 is what we call secondary dominance of the chord 5. Okay, so let me demonstrate this in a song and then I'll explain how everything works. So we're going to be using the song All Things Bright and Beautiful. If you know the song, fine. If you don't, just get the concept. Okay, this is how it goes. All things bright and beautiful, all creations made up. Okay, you can see I actually added the secondary dominant here. This is my chord 5. So the chord I played before playing this chord 5 is a secondary dominant. So this is how it goes. This chord, let me make it very simple. This chord, that is E flat major chord, is the secondary dominant chord that I use to get to my chord 5, which is G sharp major chord. So make things very simple. To get the secondary dominant chord of any particular chord, that is any target chord. Target chord is a chord you are going to. So in this case, we are going to our chord 5, and chord 5 becomes our target chord. Chord 5, which is G sharp major chord. So to get the secondary dominant chord of any target chord you are going to, all you need to do is identify the root note of that target chord. So in this case, the root note of our target chord is G sharp, which is our 5th chord in the C sharp major scale. So this is, and our root note is the note that gives that chord its identity. So this is G sharp major chord because our root is G sharp. Okay, for instance, this is C sharp major chord because the root is C sharp. In this case, G sharp major chord because the root is G sharp. So the first thing is identify the root note of your target chord, then count 5 semitones backwards towards the left. Semitone simply means one note, so we'll just count one note 5 times till we get to a particular note. So this is 1. Our root note is G sharp. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this 5th note is what? E flat or D sharp, whatever you want to call it. So we can now build a chord in these notes. Maybe let's build a major chord, that is E flat major chord, or we can add 7th notes to it to make it this. Okay, so this particular chord, which is E flat, is the secondary dominant chord of our chord 5. There's actually more theory to this, but I hope you just understand this simple trick I displayed to you. So another example, for instance, if C sharp is my target chord, that's, let's say, C sharp major chord. To get the secondary dominant chord of this target chord, what I will do, identify the roots, which is C sharp, then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is G sharp. So in this case, G sharp is my secondary dominant chord of C sharp. So whenever I want to play C sharp, I can just play G sharp major chord, or I can play G sharp 7th chord, dominant 7th chord, to lead me to my C sharp. Okay. Another song you can include secondary dominant is You Are Yahweh. This is actually a common Nigeria worship song, or let's say African worship song. If you are familiar with it, fine. If you are not, just get the concept. Okay, this is how it goes. So in this song, I'll be using secondary dominant chord before getting to my chord 5. This is how it goes. You are Yahweh. You are Yahweh. You are Yahweh. Okay, this is my chord 5. So before getting to this chord 5, which is G sharp, I'm going to add a secondary dominant chord. This is how it goes. You are, okay, Yahweh. You are Yahweh. You see what I did? You are Yahweh. So this chord here, which is E flat major chord, or let's say E flat dominant 7th chord, is my secondary dominant chord that I use to get to my chord 5, which is G sharp major chord. Okay, so because of time, we'll be using just these two songs to demonstrate this passing chord, but there are still many songs that uses this passing chord progression. Okay, so here's a short list of some other songs that uses this progression. Alright, so let's move to the next passing chord you can use whenever you're approaching the chord 5. So the last passing chord we'll be treating today, making it 4, is the diminished 7th chord of the flat 5 tone. Okay, this chord is a passing chord that also resolves well to the chord 5. So whenever you want to play the chord 5 in any song, you can just play the diminished 7th chord of the flat 5 tone to lead you to your chord 5. So here's how it sounds, and I will show you the exact points I use it in this song, Great is Thy Faithfulness. Alright, this is how it works. So focus more on my left hand, because this is where I will actually play the here's the chord before getting to my chord 5. Okay, so the diminished 7th chord I actually plays this on my left hand, which is this. That is G diminished 7th chord, and actually this is the diminished 7th chord of the flat 5 tone in my C sharp major scale. So don't panic, you are going to understand now. So let me break it down again. This is my C sharp major scale. First note, second note, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, back to 1. Okay, so this is the 5th note of the scale, and we're going to flat the 5th note to get this, which is G, and we're now going to build G diminished 7th chord. Okay, so a very simple trick to building diminished 7th chord is simply adding minor thirds. Okay, so minor third is simply an interval of, let's just say, 3 notes. Okay, so if this is G, I'll just count 3, 1, 2, 3. This is the second note of the chord. Remember, this diminished 7th chord contains 4 notes, so this is the second note of the chord. To get the next note, add 3 notes again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, remain 1. To get the 4th note, add 3 notes again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're just adding 3 notes all through to get the 4 notes of our diminished 7th chord. So this is the diminished 7th chord of the flat 5 in C sharp major scale, and this chord will resolve you well to your chord 5. Another song we can include this in is Jehovah Is Your Name. This is how it goes. Mighty warrior, great in battle. Here's the chord. Jehovah is your name. Okay,